Hello, and I am Lamika from the Real About Entrepreneurship. And this is the first episode of the Fruition Factor podcast. I am also sure that I am going to have a blooper reel of me messing that name up, but I'm okay with that. So, welcome to the first episode of the Fruition Factor podcast. As I said, my name is Lamika from The Real About Entrepreneurship over there on YouTube. So, if you are not familiar with my channel on YouTube, definitely go and check it out. So, for my first episode, I am going to be talking about the fruition factor and what does that mean. And I am going to be having guests on, particularly entrepreneurs who are talking about their fruition factor and how they were able to take an idea, a dream, and turn it into a reality. So, what is a fruition factor? For me, it is whether or not you do what you said you wanted to do. So often, many times, me included, there are things that I want to accomplish, and for whatever reason, things get in the way, and we never get around to doing it. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, it is my jam. I get so excited to talk to aspiring entrepreneurs, seasoned entrepreneurs, and to find out what they did to push through when things got challenging. How did they or how do they celebrate their successes? Did they start out as a solopreneur? Have they always had a team? I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the guy was saying that since he started, he's had an editor, he's had someone to always edit his footage. That's a goal of mine. So I'm just curious as to, what do others do in order to make their dreams a reality? So if you're watching this on YouTube, I've got notes over here. So instead of me trying to be perfect and remember what I'm going to say, I am going to look off over here to my notes so that I can stay on topic and get the message out. So, as I said, I love talking to aspiring entrepreneurs and seasoned entrepreneurs and getting to what makes them move forward with their idea and want them to share those things. Particularly for me, I created Height Goddess as a tall woman without any experience in regards to creating a clothing line, creating a fashion brand, creating whatever it was. I didn't have any experience, no experience in sewing, manufacturing, design, shipping. I didn't have experience in any of that. But what I did have is I knew that I wanted to create a brand that allow tall women to be confident in their skin. And at that time, the way I did that was through clothing. And as time has gone on, I have adjusted how I, with what my brand does with that confidence with tall women. And you definitely got to go and check out my other podcast, From One Height Goddess to Another. Even in me doing this, I just realized the growth. I started that podcast back in 2016. And although I recorded video for that podcast, I never put it out there because it was just so nerve wracking to have the video out there. And so now I have embraced the fact of having the video component to podcasting. It's definitely made it better. So definitely check out From One High Goddess to Another. If you know a tall woman who is struggling with embracing their uniqueness, or if you just know a woman, period, that is having trouble embracing their uniqueness, have them check out From One High Goddess to Another. But so with Height Goddess, I decided that it was something that I wanted to do because as a tall woman at that time, I found it challenging for me to find clothing that fit my taller than average frame, particularly jeans. That's what I started out making were jeans. I started out with like the hardest piece of clothing to make. But anyways, so I started out making that. And there were so many things that I had to overcome in order to do that because I did not know the industry. I did not know design. I don't know how to sew. So I had to hire out for every aspect of that business. And since then, I have gained some skills. Sewing is not one of them. Design is not one of them. But from a marketing perspective and from a sales of selling direct to customer and being able to interact with my customers, and those customers becoming acquaintances and friends and being able to hang out. Like, those are the things that I'm so glad that I decided to move forward with an idea, because when I started with that idea, I had no clue as to how I was going to do that. I remember my cousin at the time, he was going overseas to Asia, and he was having clothes made. And so at that, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, I can have my clothes made there. That is not how that works. Maybe from a one-off situation or custom made clothes that worked, but for what I was doing with High Goddess, that did not work. So, but I kept I kept pressing on. And so with the Fruition Factor podcast, I will be talking to entrepreneurs who have decided to press on with making their idea a reality. And I want to find out the cheat code. Like, I want to get some insight, because I'm in the process of creating a new product, and I haven't created that new product in quite a while. So we're gonna determine what my fruition factor on this new product, what that's going to be. The other thing about your fruition factor, it's not about whether you um, um, it's all about you deciding to take action, and that action can be as small as it needs to be, or it can be as big. A lot of times we think success is either the opposite of success is failure, and that is definitely not accurate. So I want to hear the stories of all different types of entrepreneurs. A lot of my entrepreneurs will be physical product based, because one of the things that I realized when I started Hype Goddess, it was around the whole online business craze. So a lot of the information that I was finding wasn't particular to a product based business. It was all about digital products and those types of things. And so the businesses that for the most part that I have been a physical product, and it has been challenging, I know, for me as that entrepreneur, to find guidance on how to have a physical product business, because you have shipping, you have obviously you have the marketing of it, you're direct to conversation with the customer, you're getting testimonials in that they may be wearing your item, and how do you get that onto your website. So those are some of the challenges that I'm looking forward to talking to my guest about. So as I said, we're going to be talking to entrepreneurs about why they decided to move forward. So whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur, whether you're a seasoned business owner, or you just want some inspiration, the Fruition Factor podcast is your podcast to check out. So definitely continue to check in and subscribe to the YouTube channel, or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. I would love to have you. And rate and review us. Leave us a comment if there's a particular entrepreneur that you would love to hear their story. I'll be happy to reach out to them and see if we can get them on. But again, welcome to the Fruition Factor podcast. And I hope you guys have the most amazing day. And I will see you in the next episode.